of surface warriors have helped keep this country free. From the War for Independence to the War on Terrorism, history is replete with the stories of their contributions, which have enabled surface naval forces to effectively defend the cause of freedom. Each year, the Surface Navy Association honors some of the individuals who have made an exceptionally significant contribution to the Continental Navy, U.S. Surface Navy, U.S. Coast Guard, or to surface naval warfare as a member of the armed forces or as a civilian. SNA is proud to introduce the following individuals as our newest inductees in the Surface Warfare Hall of Fame. 13 May 1862, Charleston Harbor, South Carolina. Robert Smalls, a civilian slave, is the wheelman aboard the Confederate transport ship CSS Planter, which is crewed mostly by slaves during the American Civil War. In the early morning hours, he and his crew commandeer the Planter and sail it from the Confederate-controlled waters of the harbor to the United States blockade that surrounds it. At one point disguising himself as the ship's Confederate captain and convincing harbor patrol boats to allow him through to access the open ocean. After freeing himself, his crew, and their families, he continues piloting the ship to the Union-controlled enclave in Beaufort, where it became a Union warship. His valiant actions helped convince President Abraham Lincoln to accept African Americans as soldiers and sailors into the Union force. As the war continues, Smalls serves as a spokesperson, as well as a Union Navy captain on the Planter and ironclad Keokuk. He leads 17 missions in and around Charleston. After the war, he is commissioned as an Army Brigadier General in the South Carolina Militia. He is then elected to the South Carolina State Legislature and the United States House of Representatives during the Reconstruction era. He purchases the plantation where he served as a slave and employs local residents to create an agricultural center and lives the rest of his life there. 17 February 1945, Iwo Jima. Lieutenant Junior Grade Rufus G Herring commands the gunboat landing craft LCIG 449 as part of the pre-invasion bombardment. He closes on the strongly fortified shores under heavy fire from Japanese batteries, while directing barrages of 20 and 40 millimeter gunfire. As the crew continues shelling enemy positions in support of underwater demolition team swimmers, the ship is ravaged by heavy Japanese counterfire that destroys the large guns and conning station. As the ship veers out of control, Herring regains consciousness. Despite his rapidly waning strength from critical injuries, he makes his way to the pilot house and takes the helm. Although unable to stand, he continues to rally his men, maneuver and navigate the ship safely and tactically, while keeping it in action with the remaining 20 millimeter guns covering the swimmers. His efforts protect and save many of their lives and allow them to complete their mission. For his conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty, Rufus Herring is awarded the Medal of Honor. Herring continues to serve in the Navy until the end of the Second World War. After retiring as a lieutenant commander, he pursues a successful career in business. 22 August 1863, off Wilmington, North Carolina. Master-at-Arms Robert T. Kelly, under the wartime alias Robert T. Clifford, is aboard the USS Shaka Khan during the American Civil War. He leads a landing party at New Topsail Inlet on a mission to destroy an enemy schooner. The crew ports a dinghy across a narrow neck of land that separates the sea from the Sound. They then launch the boat and approach the enemy from the rear. Kelly creeps into the rebel camp to do reconnaissance and notes that his party is outnumbered 3-1. Despite the odds, Kelly relies upon surprise and orders a charge, routing the enemy and capturing the schooner along with a quantity of supplies. For his bold leadership and heroism in battle, Master's mate Robert Kelly is awarded the Medal of Honor. 11 June 1871, Korean coast. Quartermaster Frederick Franklin serves on the crew of the frigate Colorado during the Korean expedition. A fleet of 5 American warships, including the Colorado, are on a peaceful diplomatic mission to establish trade and political relations, as well as investigate the destruction of the merchant marine ship General Sherman. As the expedition sails through the Ganghwa Straits, it is fired upon by batteries of a nearby fort. In the ensuing battle, American ships launch a counterattack with barrages of artillery fire, then charge and capture the forts. Franklin disembarks the Colorado with Company Delta in an amphibious assault of a fort on Ganghwa Island. His mission commander, Marine Lieutenant Hugh McKee, leads the assault until he is mortally wounded. Immediately, Franklin, sensing disaster, rallies his men, assumes command of the company, and successfully leads them to an attack that captures the fort. In successive engagements over the next few hours, Franklin will continue to lead his company to successfully capture 5 Korean forts, thus securing victory for the force in Ganghwa Island. For his valor and leadership, Quartermaster Frederick Franklin is awarded the Medal of Honor, the first time it is awarded for actions in a foreign conflict. 3 February 1943, off Greenland. Steward's mate 3rd Class Warren Damford is aboard the cutter Escanaba when the Army transport Dorchester is torpedoed by a U-boat and begins to sink. He and other rescue swimmers don state-of-the-art exposure suits, then plunge into the icy waters in the early morning darkness, tethered to the Escanaba. Remarkably, he spends nearly 4 hours swimming out to survivors in life rafts, checking for signs of life, and securing lines so the deck crews could pull them to the cutter. Often swimming close to Escanaba, the swimmers are in danger of being crushed between the life rafts and the ship's side. He assists survivors who are unconscious or weak, keeping them afloat until a line can be secured. Taking a great personal risk, Damford swims under the fantail of the maneuvering cutter to keep floating victims away from the suction of Escanaba's propeller. Putting the needs of others before his own, he plays a key role in the rescue of well over 100 Dorchester survivors. Later that year, he was lost at sea as the Escanaba exploded and sank under uncertain circumstances. For his heroic service, Warren Damford is posthumously awarded the Purple Heart and the Navy and Marine Corps Medal, which is accepted by his father. A fast response cutter is to be named in his honor. 22 February 1943, North Atlantic Ocean. James A. Hirschfield commands the Coast Guard cutter Campbell as part of a convoy escort group when the convoy is attacked. German U-boats fire torpedoes that sink one ship and damage 2 others. During the ensuing battle, Hirschfield's cutter engages 6 U-boats, forcing them to submerge and damaging at least 2. His crew then rescues 50 survivors from a torpedoed Norwegian tanker. As he rejoins the convoy, another U-boat surfaces up ahead. Hirschfield directs his crew to ram the enemy boat, which they do with a glancing blow. As the submarine slides past, his crew expeditiously drops 2 depth charges that fatally cripple the enemy. The 2 vessels are so close that Hirschfield is wounded by flying splinters from the explosion. Despite his injury, he remains in command throughout the action and subsequent period. Campbell sustains damage during the counterattack and is disabled by a flooded engine room. Hirschfield directs repairs as well as the rescue and capture of several prisoners from the U-boat crew. For his inspiring leadership and the valiant devotion to duty, Commander Hirschfield receives the Navy Cross, a Purple Heart, and later in his career receives the Distinguished Service Medal. He continues to serve a remarkable Coast Guard career, retiring as Vice Admiral. Courage, vision, commitment to mission. Common traits among uncommon individuals who have earned history's respect and who honor us all by their distinction as Surface Navy warriors. SNA is proud to add these 6 outstanding individuals to the already 155 members of the Surface Warfare Hall of Fame.